Hi there, I'm author Shannon Reber, and this is a brand new podcast, which I haven't come up with an official name for, but I'm thinking I might call it Right Now. And well, it's about writing, if that wasn't obvious. I have been writing for probably 20, 25 years, something like that. And when I first started, um, I had, I think I finished my first two books, and then basically I would start an idea and then just kind of, it never went anywhere. So I have hundreds of, maybe 10, somewhere between 10 and 100 page story ideas that I would start the book and then just ditch it. And so, then I actually started publishing, and I had all of these book starts that, I mean, some of them are pretty bad, but some are okay. So, I was thinking I'm having a hard time writing at this point in my life. Basically, everything just kind of fell apart for me last year, and I moved away from the town that I had lived in for 24 years. I moved to Grand Rapids, where my family is, and basically writing has been my escape when things were bad. And things are really good right now. And I'm having a very hard time actually focusing on writing. And it is my favorite thing, but it's really hard to, I don't know, to find the inspiration. So I'm working on inspiration at this point. Well, like I said, I have hundreds of unfinished stories, and I don't know if I'll actually finish any of them. I don't know if I will publish them or if I'll just dink around with them on here. But my plan for this particular podcast is to give you little snippets of what I did write, and then basically tell you the general idea of what I had for the story. And if you will interact, you can tell me what you think of it. You can give me advice. You can take the idea for yourself and turn it into your own story. And I'm just sharing this particular process because I have been struggling so much with writing. So if you are too, then we can take this little journey together. So there we go. This is, well, for anyone who's interested in stories, interested in writing, interested in reading, interested in, well, me. Not in a creepy way. Oh my goodness. But yeah, anyways, I have this story that I started probably 12, possibly 15 years ago. Don't really know. Um, I I was very bad at that point with writing very repetitively. So I would say basically the same thing in three different ways in the same sentence. And I tried cleaning that up a little bit earlier, and it's a lot to do. So I was thinking I would show you how I used to write. And yeah, so this story started out basically. I'll read you a couple of paragraphs or maybe a page or two of the story, and then I will give you more details of the basic idea of what the characters told me the story was going to be about. And these characters have been through a lot, as always in my books. So yeah, this uh, this starts out with Trista, and well, I'll read some of it to you, and I'll tell you more as I go along. So brace yourself. Here we go. All right. So, chapter one. There had been a time when a sunrise would have meant nothing to me. Not so long ago, sitting on the dock in front of my parents' vacation home with a cup of coffee would not have appealed to me in the least. But now I knew precisely how short life could be, how easily it could all be taken away. There were so many things I now understood that I had never even guessed at. I had learned to value so many things in the last year, learned to value every moment. Now, sitting on the dock with that coffee, staring out at the mountains across the bay from me and the amazing scenery all around, it meant everything to me. So long as I was here, no one else would be hurt. So I valued this solitude, valued the quiet sound of the water lapping at the dock, the gulls, and even the sounds of boats as they passed. I had been 6 when my parents had bought the house. Even at the age of 6, I had thought it was too far from everything. But now, with the darkness which wanted so badly to engulf me, the darkness that so many people wanted for me to talk about, I found seclusion. I found the seclusion of this house to be the best and only answer. Now, when the idea of going anywhere in a crowd sickened me, I found the Alaskan town to be a welcome relief. I would have to go back to my life in San Francisco at some point, but right then, nothing mattered to me. I couldn't focus on classes. I could only focus on the ring that I just could not wear. I had put it on a chain around my neck, but never looked at it. It was just too much for me to see anyone who knew my story, too much to see anyone at all. So I sat on the dock, looking out onto the mountains. Oh, so as I sat on the dock, looking out onto the mountains, I felt that this was the only place, the world outside this pretty cottage, a place that I did not want to see. Solitude was the only thing I could handle. During the week that I had been in that quiet place, I had allowed everything just to fade into the background. I had looked at nothing but the scenery during that time, the breathtaking scenery that my mom and dad had loved so much. I saw now, with new eyes, the perfection of the solitude of this place. See what I mean about being repetitive? Ugh. Anyway, the cabin sat close to the water of Thimbleberry Bay, the sound of the water lapping at the shore and the and that of gulls, the only sounds that I had heard all week. I wasn't used to such quietness, but it now it answer to every problem. Now it was the answer to every problem, apparently. Just allowing the sound of the waves to lull me into a state of complacency. I had hardly done more than drink coffee and stare out at the water during those days, not even bothering to look in not even bothering to look in the mirror as I pulled my hair back into the now ubiquitous ponytail. If I had looked in that mirror, I might have seen the fact that my eyes had deep, dark circles under them, my brown eyes that were the one feature I had shared with my mom, always seeming to be brimming with unshed tears. My wavy, light brown hair that was the same color that my dad's had been. I couldn't handle seeing those similarities, small though they were, to my parents. I had not so long ago been one of those girls, the kind who cared what she saw in the mirror, the kind who even occasionally liked what she saw. But now I just didn't care. So repetitive. Oh my goodness. Back to it. Now, not in the least. There we go. There was no longer anyone left for me to even try to impress. No one. This, along with the big mouth of my roommate and the way that my entire dorm had begun staring and whispering, leaving San Francisco had been a necessity. It seemed the only way to keep my demons at bay. That drive had taken me a week that I could not remember, a week of simple solitude, again, repetitive, to try and get a handle on everything. It hadn't happened though. I still had no idea at all how to handle any of it. If I was in San Francisco or Sitka, nothing mattered to me at all any longer. Really? Oh, never heard that before. Nothing mattered other than looking out at the beautiful scenery and all of the beautiful memories that this house brought to my mind. It felt, as I looked around, that I was an old woman, a woman who had already seen all that life had to offer and was entirely too tired to go on. I was just too tired to see any more sorrow. It did not matter that I was. Actually, I gotta change that because in this particular version of the book, I have her being 16, and she can't be 16. I just can't handle that. So, anyways, um, this story, the way that I first envisioned it was some kind of well, it was just an accident that had killed her friends, and then a different accident had killed her parents. But I started writing fantasy, and the fugue states that Trista goes into, they really appealed to me from a fantasy point of view. Yeah, perspective. There, that's what I was trying to say. Um, so the things that I have most recently found are basically like people kind of fall into fairy, and they fall in and they go missing for a time, and it basically messes up their lives for the rest of their lives. I love myths like that. They're so fun, and it's it's a cool way of like explaining the fugue states that I actually did research, and people truly do have this happen to them. They have no idea where they are or what's going on around them, and they wake up in a random place and have no idea how they got there. And I just, like I said, as a fantasy writer, I thought that would be a really fun thing to play with. So that is the plan for this particular little story. If I ever do get back to it, clearly there's a lot that needs to be done. But Trista, there's really a lot that has happened to her. Her friends are missing. Her parents. Actually, I think her friends are dead and her parents are missing. I think that's what I did with that one. But it's I. I mean, the tragic backstory of the main character is, well, it's my thing. It's my bread and butter, and it's something that it makes a story compelling to me. So that's what I tend to go with. So yeah, the idea for this for the Fae entry into the story, it was actually a true crime podcast that I had listened to, and something similar had happened to a little boy. He was I don't remember where this was supposed to be. It might have been somewhere in Maine, but he was messing around in a creek, and a well-dressed dude walks up to him and says, "It looks like you're working hard. Why don't you come to my house?" And you're thinking, "Oh dear, this is going to be a kidnapping story. This is going to be terrible." Well, this kid just goes with the dude, not very smart, and he ends up basically falling asleep while he's at this dude's house, and he wakes up in the morning, and he, well, the guy takes him back to the place where he found him, but he's looking around and he doesn't recognize anything. And he, well, he's found by a search party, and he believes it's just been overnight that he was gone, and he was actually gone for 3 days. And it was just, it totally triggered my imagination, and I have not been able to stop thinking about that particular story. And so if I do mess around with this, I think I will probably turn it into a novella or a short story. And just basically, I don't know, just explain exactly why Trista is so sad and such. But it's a story that I do think I want to mess with. I don't know if I will keep it in Sitka. I did that research a long time ago, and I'm not 100% sure the climate is quite right, because there's a snowstorm that I had written, and as far as I know, Sitka gets very little snow. It's mostly rain, actually, from the research that I did. So yeah, got to do more research. Um, but yeah, I do love the story idea. So if you were reading said story, um, granted it would be after many edits and a lot of deleting of the repetitive phrases. Yeah. But I was wondering if you would actually be interested in the story. So will you let me know, please? And I will figure out if I actually want to write it. Or you can take the story idea and turn it into your own. So, what do you think? Is this something that you would be interested in? Please let me know.